now we're kind of in a predicament. In order to figure out why he's anemic, you usually run an anemia blood panel. So check him for infectious diseases, Bartonella, mycoplasma, things like that. Could be a congenital defect, but in order to do that, you have to take blood. And because he's so anemic, the doctor at the specialist internist didn't want to do that. He was nervous. We just paid over $500 to do a blood transfusion last night, and then he got 12 mLs of fluid of blood. And in order to run the infectious disease panel anemia workup, they need at least 2 mLs of blood, and that's like 10% of his blood volume. So he was very concerned that he just doesn't have any blood to spare at this point. What we're doing, he said we're going to deworm him. We are going to put him on some antidiarrheals. He started having diarrhea. And we're going to see what his blood looks like tomorrow. We're going to do a very tiny blood test called a PCV, or packed cell volume, which checks and counts how many red blood cells he has. He's at a 15 now. He was at 10 prior to the blood transfusion. And then see what it is tomorrow. Go from there. If it continues to drop substantially, then it's likely he has some type of congenital defect or something very complicated. And unfortunately, because he is a 6-week-old 1-pound kitten, I know, baby, it will be very difficult to diagnose, and we could be looking at more blood transfusions and kind of going in a vicious cycle. Right now he's happy and alert, and he wants his mommy, and the doctor kind of said to see how he does with medications over the next couple of days and go from there. Even with all the money and diagnostics in the world, they still very well might not be able to tell us what's wrong. And so we could just be going back and forth to the to the emergency vet and the internist without a diagnosis, basically. Because in order to diagnose, you're looking at a significant amount of blood work. They did a quick ultrasound on him, and he doesn't have any free fluid, meaning he's not bleeding from anywhere. So what that means is that his body is just not making red blood cells. He's not losing blood. He's not bleeding. His body is just not making new red blood cells at all. So we just gave him the blood transfusion. We'll see if he has any immune response, and that if his body starts making blood on his own, that would be amazing. If it doesn't, then we might have to make the difficult decision to, okay, you want to lay down? No? I know. We'll take it off. I'll take you the boo-boo Band-Aid off in a minute, okay? Do we put him through more blood transfusions? Or do we let him have, time with mommy and time with his siblings and possibly have to let him go? We could do another blood transfusion and more blood work, hopefully get some blood sample out of him and try to figure out what's going on. But what he was basically saying is if he starts degressing and his red blood cells start dropping drastically, then whatever it is not good. So even if we don't have a diagnosis, it's likely grave. Not very good news.
Yep, so we will keep you guys updated.
I know,
and
baby,
thank you guys
sorry.
for all of your support.
I'm sorry, honey.